Hey, Gabe here. Welcome to Man Up. For those of you that don't know me, I am Gabe, obviously, and this is my YouTube channel where I try to help people with all kinds of things. I am slowly becoming a life coach and motivational speaker, not because I wanted to, but out of necessity because there are some really dumb people in this world that don't know how to get their shit together. So I'm here to offer my advice on how to get your shit together. Disclaimer: I do not have my shit together. I am in the process of getting my shit together. So if you find humor in this video, that's fantastic. If you think I am completely insane, that is also fantastic. But if I help you, that's my end goal. So, Man Up is a group that I started for men. It's a book that I'm writing uh, for everybody, but talking about how you can become a man, I guess, or becoming a man, which I am still trying to figure out how to do. But in that, I noticed that the title may alienate a few ladies. So, ladies, today I wanted to speak specifically to you. So, those of you that are married or dating a man, um, you might want to get your head checked because men are very difficult and headstrong and pretty screwed up. Most of us, anyway. Some of us are pretty good, but and when I say man, I mean like somebody that is not well feminine. Okay, there are some feminine men out there, um, and I'm not saying that they're not a man. Maybe they are a man, but maybe they have some qualities that are not manly. Okay, so um, I probably just alienated half the population there that are now mad at me. Golly, the gay and lesbian movement is going to hate me. Oh well, sorry, not talking to you guys. That's not what I mean by any of that. What I mean is somebody that's masculine. Okay, so some of us are over the top masculine. We got the beard, we got we hunt, we fish, we kill shit. We gather. We're hunters. We are men. We're cavemen at heart, right? And some of us are that way because of the way we were raised. Some of us didn't have the best childhood, and so sometimes we maybe overcompensate or are too manly. In my case, which I just found this out, by the way. So lots of therapy that took. Hang in there. So, ladies, here's the deal. When you ask your man to just let down his walls, and you ask your man to let you in, when you ask your man to be softer, this goes against everything he's taught from the time that he is swimming up the vagina to get to the egg, right? That starts. We shoot out of our dad's pecker. We swim up our moms to try to fertilize that egg, right? I'm the fastest swimmer. I am the strongest seaman in that whole group. I am manly, right? Then I get in there. I decide to become a man, not a woman. So that starts the whole fucked up process right there. So if you want to be bad at somebody, be mad at your parents because, or my parents actually, because they're the ones that did this shit. So you get there, you pop out, you're a baby, mom's nurturing, right? Puts you on her tit, feeds you, nourishes you, your bond with your mom grows. She's like, oh, you're so cute no matter what, even when you're fucking 48 years old, and do all kinds of shit. But they're supportive and they're nurturing and they're kind and they're sweet and like they're the protector. Dad, on the other hand, is, hey, there's no crying. Men don't show emotions. Be strong, right? You don't show weakness. You run towards danger, not away from it. You know, that's why men for the longest time were firefighters and cops and soldiers, and women weren't. Well, that has a lot to do with society, fucking y'all, but which isn't cool too, because the glass ceiling needs to be broken. But I diverse. Anyway, so that's where it starts, ladies, right? So we're brought up, men are supposed to be the protectors and they're supposed to be head of the household, and there's all these stigmas and everything that we're supposed to do, and society tells us all this shit, although society's kind of fucked up right now and they're telling us to be pansies. But anyway, so here we go, right? And we go through life, and then we play sports, and it's reinforced our whole lives, right? So we're supposed to fight and see whose dick's bigger and all that shit that we do. And so we become tough, and then we let y'all in a little bit, and then we get hurt, and then that makes it even more fucked up, because we let somebody in, and then we got hurt, and then we put up even more walls. And so by the time you get to us, we're emotionally crippled, because we probably didn't have the best upbringing, and we don't know what love is, and we can't even take care of ourselves. And so what we do is we build up walls, and we don't let y'all in. Now, those of you that are lucky enough to have veterans, well, then we're brainwashed into boot camp, and we're broke down, and we're rebuilt into soldiers and sailors and warriors and and fighters. And same thing, what are we supposed to do? Not show emotion, can't be weak, run towards danger, don't run from it. And so that male bravado, that male ego is all chiseled out and forced to be emotionless. Yeah, we're not supposed to show emotion. So what do? Well, we love you, right? We fall in love with you because, well, most of us fall in love with you because you're fucking hot. But then after we realize that, well, you are hot, but then you're sweet and kind and caring and nurturing, and we want to let you in. But some of us aren't capable of letting you in. Some of us aren't capable of telling you everything that we've done or that we have been through, because that is weakness, right? That's what we were taught anyway. We don't like to feel vulnerable, all right? Well, guess what? When we let all that out and we regurgitate all the bad shit that we've done or had to do, now we're vulnerable. And vulnerability is something that we're taught that we aren't supposed to be. We're not supposed to have. It's not an emotion that we even are supposed to relate to, right? So you get all these, anybody that dated me between the ages of 16 and 45, I apologize. I was not a man. I was a little boy, and I was emotionally unavailable and fucked up, and I apologize. So at about the age 45, you start to grow up, kind of. So with that said, ladies, be patient with your man. It's hard to let y'all in. It's hard because there's things that maybe some of us have had to do that a woman just can't relate to. Okay? How many ladies out there like to shoot deer? Not very many. How many ladies out there like to kill an animal at all? Not very many. Okay? How many ladies out there like to get dirty and, whatever? There's a few of you, right? But, I mean, if you think about it, how are we all raised, right? You're raised to be princesses and soft and be put on a pedestal and nurtured and all this other stuff, right? And so we're trained to be polar opposite. And then y'all have these things called emotion. And then on top of emotion, you have this thing called PMS, okay? We don't know what the fuck any of that is, okay? I don't speak emotion. I don't speak woman. I don't speak PMS. I raised a daughter on my own. I am married, and I got 2 kids. My dog, she's even freaking, I'm ruled by women, okay? You would think that I know women. I don't know the fucking first thing about women at all. I don't understand y'all. I don't know. I've read every book I could. All right, Dr. Seuss does not have a book on how to deal with women. And if he did, it wouldn't matter anyway, because he don't fucking know. So, women, y'all need to understand. We don't mean to hurt your feelings. Not most of us. I mean, there are some douchebags out there. And look, I'll jump on your bandwagon and want to kick them in the fucking balls for you, because there's some fucked up guys out there that they don't have a clue and they ruin it for the rest of us. But us good guys, right? Us big-hearted warriors, we got feelings. Yeah, that's right. I know I said it. I know you don't believe it, but we do. And we hide them behind a lot of scars. And People call it walls, but it's not, it's scars. And so we hide behind them, and we use things like sarcasm or humor to create distance and create a wall. We love you. I mean, I would I'd die for my my wife, my daughter, my mom, my sister, my stepdaughters. I'm getting emotional. This was not supposed to be an emotional video. Um, Man, I'd give my life up for every one of y'all. I even give my life up for my dog because that's who I am. That's what we're supposed to do, right? So that's the good side about being a man. The downside is this whole emotional thing, like I'm feeling right now. This is new, right? Yeah, I almost cried, but I'm not really. I haven't cried yet. Um, because getting in touch with your emotions, that's a motherfucker, right? And admitting that you're weak and admitting that you're a little emotional and that you have these emotions, it's not manlike. And so, ladies, you got to be patient. We can get there. Nagging's not going to do it. Begging's probably not going to do it. Um, but if you be patient and you show support and you ask and you stay persistent, a lot of times that's what it takes, right? My wife used to say, "Why don't you listen to me?" I don't know why I didn't listen. I did listen actually. Just took me several years to apply what it was that you were telling me. Um, and that's because we become stubborn and hard-headed and strong-willed. And I'm just letting you know that some of us have faced some things that y'all don't need to hear about. Um, you say that you want to hear about it, but when we tell you, it's going to change the way you look at us, and that's the bottom line. I'm speaking mainly towards veterans right now. Some men too. I mean, some men have had to do some stuff. There's police officers and firefighters and paramedics that have had to do some. There's some normal men that need to do it, but they haven't faced what we have, right? They don't have the PTSD. They don't have this. They have some scars, but their scars are different. And so when you look at your man and you're like, why don't you let me in, or why don't you tell me everything? Because you have a hard time wanting to kill an animal at all. So imagine if we had to face killing somebody, or maybe we have, or maybe we've done some things that just are so horrific that we don't want to relive them. And so by telling you, we have to relive them. Or maybe we've been put into situations that compromised our morals, our standards, our beliefs, right? And although it was an order, although we had to do it, although it was a job, we're still conflicted by it, right? So, because we didn't have a choice, maybe we didn't want to do what it was that we had to do, but we had to. Why? Because when you join the military, you're owned by the military, and if you don't do whatever it is that they say, you can face death. Do y'all know that? Okay, you go in the military and you swear in and you put your hand on that Bible and you swear to uphold the Constitution, you are now owned by the government. If you do not do what the government says, you can face death. Guess how you face death? You don't do it by going to the judicial system that's set up for the rest of the world. You have to go to the military court. Guess what? Laws aren't the same. So you can be kicked out. Your life can be ruined. You can be thrown in jail. And it's not a cool, fluffy jail. It's military jail, and it's not a good place to be. So, ladies, there's a lot you don't understand about men. Just like there's a lot we don't understand about you. And so what I'm doing is I'm asking you to be patient. I'm asking you to be kind. I'm asking you to just take a step back and let your man know what it is that you need. And when he realizes that you need it, most of the time he'll come around. You may never know everything that he's faced. And I tell you that because as as a as a veteran, I've heard stories from my friends, and they rocked me to my core. I will always carry the burden of the stories. There's things that I've heard that I thought I was prepared for that I simply, all I could do is cry. I and hug my buddy, right? And tell him I loved him because there's not a whole lot I can do with what they told me, and that's hard. And there's no way in hell, all that I've seen, all that I've been through, if it affects me like that, there's no way that you can handle it. Any woman, maybe a few veteran women out there, maybe some nurses, maybe a doctor, maybe some firefighters can relate, if you've been in that. But if you haven't gone through, if you haven't been to hell, if you haven't seen suffering, if you haven't been to war, if you haven't been into a situation to where you're all going to die, and some of you do, you're not prepared to hear some of what your man has to tell you. And you've got to respect that, because if he's capable of telling you, he will. But it's hard. And that's why a lot of us become alcoholics. That's why a lot of us become addicts. That's why a lot of us become suicidal. That's why a lot of us kill ourselves, because it's easier to take that pain to the grave than it is to share it with somebody else. You don't want that burden, I promise you. You don't want to hear everything that your man has done or had to do or faced or said. You think you want to, but there's no way you can look at him the same. So please try to understand that. It's very important, because he's not isolating you. He's not shutting you out. He's not wanting to give in. He's not wanting to not be there for you and doing that. But there's just certain things that you don't really need to know, and you don't want to know. And if he can tell you, he'll tell you. But just cut him some slack. Come some slack. Doesn't mean he loves you any less. Doesn't mean that he doesn't find you beautiful or attractive. It doesn't mean he's hiding things. It just means that he loves you enough to not tell you. And again, man, I wish I could unhear a lot of stories, but I've chosen to be there for my veteran buddies. I've chosen to help them, and they share with me in confidence some of their struggles. And that's a hard burden to carry, ladies. It really is. And so if I could give you an advice, just know that if your man looked you in the eyes and said he loves you and he wants to be there for you, you got to take that as what it is. Because sometimes the scars and the wounds and the burdens that he carries is for him to carry and for him to share with his buddies, because his buddies have been through that. Because his wife is this beautiful, passionate creature that tends to see worlds through a fairy tale view, and you're innocent in a lot of ways, and so we're trying to preserve that. So I did not mean to get emotional for this video. This is going to be a non-emotional video for you ladies, but as you can see, that's how hard this is. It's hard even talking about it, because I'm seeing all the things that I've been through and all the things that my friends have been through right now as I watch this video to try to help you all out. So again, just hang in there with them, man. Be patient. Some men are assholes on the inside because they need to be, and they guard their heart for a reason. Some of them motherfuckers out there, douchebags, you call me, I'll help you fucking whip their ass, because there's some fucking dickheads out there. But there are a few of us that are good men, and you'll know by the way he looks at you. Promise. Anyway, it's my advice to ladies. Sorry for crying, but emotions happen. Stay strong. Don't drink, and do not kill yourself. Hit me up if you feel suicidal. Um, Man, woman, dog, cat, whatever. I don't care. Cats can fuck off, but anything else. Love y'all.